Hey everybody, it's Henry at Mowers and Blowers again. Welcome to part 7 of my John Deere LA105 lawn tractor restoration fix. From our last episode, I attached the double pulley and gave the deck a little bit of a touch-up paint job. Looks pretty good now, but I need to do another coat because with rust that was in the area, it soaked in with the paint. And you could see that there's still some rusty residue that has soaked in there. So I'm going to give it another coat. I have the paint, might as well do another coat, you know. Anyhow, so the engine didn't run well. This was due to, if you'll recall in episode 6 or 5, I was testing fuel pumps for this thing to avoid a gravity-fed gas tank, which I have now. I tried an OEM John Deere Pulse fuel pump. That didn't work. It didn't seem like enough gas was getting there. I tried a aftermarket one that looked just like it. That didn't work either. I tried an electric fuel pump which pumped way too much gas. So during that experiment, gas was being pushed into the carburetor like a flood. I mean, it was just filling up like that. I mean, that fuel pump was way too strong for this engine. It was a 2-amp one, and it was pushing just so much gas. So during that time, all that gas was being flooded into the carburetor. And so I realized that because this engine doesn't run right all of a sudden, is because the crankcase is now filled with gas, you know? I've had that happen on a couple of tractors already, so I know exactly what to look for. I was surprised that there wasn't much smoke coming out though, because usually when that happens there's a ton of smoke that flies out. Anyway, so to fix that problem, all you have to do is give it an oil change. I'm going to drain the engine of all its oil and gas mix, and it should come out like gas, you know, really fluid, watery gas oil mix. So here is the oil reservoir, and that big nut there, I'm going to loosen that up and drain that out. If you'll notice, that nut is inside the frame, not sticking out of the frame, so it's going to make a mess. So I made this little thingamajig with a drink bottle and stick it in there so that at least the oil will drain out into this old cereal container that I've been using for oil changes. So this oil change is for my buddy Mario Gomez. So I've prepped the area with an old blanket, and I put that there. I'd like to once, just once, not make a mess when doing an oil change, because I pretty much have made a mess every time I do an oil change. I know this is a little cumbersome, but I don't want to make a mess. And yep, there you go. It's a mess. You see that? It's all liquid. See, that didn't work at all. It's a mess. You see that? All gas. What a mess. Jesus Christ. Completely retarded. Look how much gas is in there. It's crazy, man. Isn't that crazy? Crankcase is completely filled with gas. Of course it's not going to run right. Of course not. I'm going to have to do something there about that. I mean, that's just a terrible way to do an oil change, you know? Usually, you know, you have something like this, right? It always, when you turn the nut, always the reservoir moves too, you know? So you got to stick like a monkey wrench over here and hold it while you turn this one, you know? Somebody's got to design a better way to do oil changes, man. I mean, I don't know why they don't just have a thing that sticks out like that. Anyway, still coming out a little, but I'm gonna find a way to fix that. In the meantime, I gotta clean up this damn mess. I got a longer pipe, so now it's easier to do it. Doesn't get in the way of the brake, and the hood closes. So I'm going to clean up this mess, fill it with oil. Well, I've got a perfect record. I have always made a mess while doing an oil change. At least this gives me an opportunity to clean up this area a little bit. Incidentally, while I have you guys' attention, what is that? And where does that... There was a wire stuck on there, but it wasn't connected to anything. But where does that go, and what is this? Let me know in the comments, will you guys? I've never seen that before. And also, guys, don't be a Richard, okay? Dispose of your gas and oil the proper way. Don't just dump it in a sewer or a river or something like that, man. You know what I mean? Not cool. Now I'll just fill it up with some Earl. Earl. Put at least a liter in there or approximate, and then check the levels as you go. You don't want to overfill. While my rag is nice and oily, clean your shit. So I just checked the oil level, looks good. Guess I'm going to try to start it now. Oh, duh. Man, do have to turn on the fuel, right? Yeah, does need fuel. There we go. Runs great now. Alright. Mower deck's working well. Ooh. Seat safety switch still works too. Excellent. Wow. Look at that idle. Look at that. Look how smooth that is. Nice. See, guys, whenever you have that issue, check the oil. If it smells like gas in there and the level is like double as much as what the oil should be, you've got gas in the crankcase. Give it an oil change, it's as good as new now. Now I'm going to tackle the brakes. I took the air cleaner cover off so I could, while I fix the brakes, I want to keep an eye on that choke plate in that area. if fuel is continuously running through, if the needle is not seating, this area here will fill with gas, and then I'll have that problem all over again. So I'm just monitoring this to make sure that it is seating and that the needle is closing the fuel valve, so no fuel is going back into the crankcase again. So I'm going to just watch that and make sure there's no fuel that floods into that area. So it's dry right now, it looks like it's okay, but I'll keep an eye on it. Right now I've going to address the brakes because it doesn't seem like I have any brakes, you know, just freewheels, and even with the brake lever down and locked, I still freewheel, so I don't think I have any brakes whatsoever. So I've jacked up the tractor only on the left-right side because that's where the brake assembly is, right there. And so this wheel is off the ground, and basically I'm just going to pull this. This is very rubbery, so it's kind of hard to get off sometimes, but you know, just pry it off or something with a screwdriver or pliers and get that rubber protector cover off. Just pry off this rubber cover here. If it was this easy to take off a wheel off a car, you would have a lot of accidents. E-clip. Slotted screwdriver, pop it right off. And there's a washer that comes off. And then hopefully this had some axle grease on there so that it's not fused to the thing. That's nice. Popped right off. So as you can see, this one has an abundance of axle grease here. So I'm just going to take that and put it back on here a little bit because I don't want it to seize on there. Oh, so I feel something on the bottom here, and I'll tell you what it is in a second. That would be the keyway. So I got the keyway stuck on there, which is good. See that? That's the keyway. So that allows the, while the axle's turning, it turns the wheels. Without that keyway, your wheel's just going to spin. So now looking at the brake assembly, look how loose this is. That's really loose, huh? So I'm thinking either the pads popped out, which is really unlikely, or just this thing needs to be tightened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this a little just to see what happens. If it doesn't do anything, then I'll take it apart. So I just got lucky. This bolt here that tightens the brake assembly lever, it was just super loose and turned all the way out, which is why it was just flopping around. But once I tightened it, not all the way, but I tightened it to where I needed to, put the wheel back on, and I spun it with my hand until I could freely spin it. And then while I was doing that, I pushed down on the brake lever and it stopped. So I think I got it. And I put another bolt on here just to prevent that from loosening up anymore. So I think that's good. I didn't have to change the brakes. I merely had to just turn the screw tightener tighter. That was easy. I might go for a spin now on the tractor. So just put the wheel back on. And if you could see, there's a notch there and a notch there. You line up the notch perfectly, like around there, and you get your keyway. You slide it in, push it in with the screwdriver, goes right in there. Put the washer back on. It's messy with axle grease, you know. It's messy. Wait a minute. Why do I have two washers? Crap. You know what? I bet you the washer on the inside came out. I gotta take the wheel back off. Ain't that something? The washer did not come off. Oh, okay, it is. See that? No, that's not right. Is that right? That is right. Okay. Need to put put your E-clip back on there. You may want to use some pliers because it's got some tension. Sons of bitches. I know, you guys hear me cursing. It's really difficult to do this while videotaping. There you go. Uh-huh. Why do they make this so difficult? Why? Get in there! Sons of bitches! Okay, it's on there. So with my hand, I can turn the wheel. It's got some resistance. I wanted to make sure it was tight. And then when you put the brake on, it's locked. Won't go anywhere. So I know the brakes are working. Awesome. That wasn't too difficult at all. Now I'm gonna move my damn car and go for a ride. First ride on my John Deere LA105. Come back to check, and there is no leaks. So it's not flooding back into the crankcase. I'm going to put the air filter cover back. And here we go. First ride. Brakes work great. Yeah! John Deere LA105. First ride. I've had this for a while. Never thought I'd get this going, you know? This tractor's in excellent condition. That's right. It takes talent to ride a mower and film. Now to GoPro. I'm gonna go around the block. Yeah. say, it's not very fast. It's 5th gear. I mean, I guess it's okay. I guess they're not meant to be fast, you know? Back home now, I'm gonna mow the lawn. Pressing the reel button's the only way to mow backwards. Reverse in operation. Is that right? This is my first tractor with a reel button that actually works. Everybody else disconnected it, you know? Cool. I don't really like the reel button, but at least mine works, you know what I mean? I'm stoked, guys. It's been a long time coming. Still have to address the charging issue. This doesn't charge. So the battery will probably be dead by the time I stop this tractor. Charge up the battery a little bit more. I haven't had luck with charging lately. Had a lot of tractors with stator problems. Anyway, that's my fix today. Oil change, adjusted the brakes, and I'm actually going to go and see if I can fabricate a way to put that mower deck on here. That's what I'm going to do now. So I just decided to take this out and look at the fittings and stuff, and you know, honestly, it's too much trouble for me to fabricate that onto here. So I'm not going to do it. Anyway, that was today's project. Oil change and fix the brakes. Next we're going to tackle the voltage regulator and why it doesn't charge the battery. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey, stay tuned for part 8 of John Deere LA105. I'm going to check out that voltage regulator.